Welcome to Mythos Meadow English, a quiet space where stories, reflections, and gentle conversations guide you toward a deeper understanding of life and of yourself. I'm so grateful you're here. Every episode on this channel is created to give you comfort, clarity, and companionship, especially on days when life feels heavy or confusing. So if you're listening right now, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders and allow yourself to settle into this moment. Today's episode is a heartfelt journey into something many of us silently struggle with: the invisible pressure of being 25 and the fear of falling behind. Thank you for choosing to spend your time here. Let's begin. At 25, life feels like a strange checkpoint that no one prepared you for. It's the age where the world suddenly seems to expect you to have it all figured out, even though you're still trying to understand who you are, what you want, and where you're going. It's the age where success stories fall from the sky like rain, but somehow none of those drops ever seem to land on you. It's the age where you start hearing phrases like, "You're still young, but also time is running out," and the contradiction creates a kind of invisible pressure that sits quietly on your shoulders day and night. If you're listening to this podcast right now, maybe you've felt that pressure too. Maybe you've looked at your life and whispered to yourself, "Why am I not further ahead? Why does everyone seem to be moving faster than me?" Maybe you've had those nights when you scroll through social media, seeing your friends getting promoted, getting engaged, buying a house, traveling the world, launching businesses, earning more money, becoming somebody, while you're still figuring things out step by step. And somewhere between midnight and your overthinking, your heart sinks a little. You start feeling slower, smaller, and less capable, even when none of that is true. This episode is for you. For the version of you who tries so hard. For the version of you who feels like they're not enough. For the version of you who compares silently and hurts quietly. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine once confessed something to me over a late-night coffee, one of those conversations where people talk more honestly because the world is dark and quiet. She was 25, working in a job she didn't love, watching her peers win at life, one by one. She told me, "Every birthday feels like a deadline. I'm not excited anymore. I'm scared." She felt like she was stuck in place while everyone else was sprinting forward. But the truth she couldn't see, and the truth many of us miss, is that no one is actually sprinting. Not in the way social media makes it look. Behind every 25-year-old who seems ahead is a hidden story you don't see. The person who bought a house might be drowning in debt. The friend who got engaged might be in a relationship full of silent fights. The colleague who got promoted might be struggling with anxiety every day. The person who seems to have their life together might secretly feel lost. But you don't see the mess behind the curtain, only the highlight reel. At 25, comparison is more dangerous than ever. You've lived just long enough to feel pressure, but not long enough to have perspective. And that's exactly where the invisible weight forms, in the space between what you think life should be and what your life actually looks like. Let's pause for a moment. If I asked you to list everything you haven't achieved yet, I know you could create a long, painful list. But if I asked you to list everything you have silently survived, every heartbreak, every panic-filled moment, every night you didn't give up even though you wanted to, that list would be even longer. You've been fighting battles no one saw. You've been carrying weights no one helped you with. You've been rebuilding yourself quietly again and again without applause. Being 25 doesn't mean you're supposed to be successful. It means you're supposed to learn about life. It means you're supposed to try, fail, learn, and try again. It means you're supposed to start discovering your identity, not finishing your story. But society loves deadlines. It loves timelines. It loves milestones. It loves the idea that growth is linear. Finish school at this age, get a job at that age, succeed by this age, settle down before this age. But people don't grow like that. People bloom in seasons. Some early, some late, Some suddenly, some quietly, some in ways no one notices until years later. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen two flowers blooming at the exact same moment? Same shape, same pace, same color? Never. Nature embraces differences. Only humans punish themselves for not being identical. Growing slowly does not mean failing. It means growing honestly. But I understand the fear. At 25, the world doesn't just show you success, it shoves it in your face every day. Social media has turned comparison into a daily ritual. You wake up, unlock your phone, and instantly see someone doing better. A stranger in another country reaches a milestone, and somehow you feel behind in your own life. It's absurd, but it's human. People your age are becoming doctors, managers, designers, influencers, parents, millionaires, homeowners, world travelers. And here you are, drinking your coffee, walking to work, figuring out your next step. But this quiet, steady life? It's normal. More normal than the glamorous lives on your screen. Let me tell you something crucial. Life doesn't run on a universal schedule. There is no race. You are not late. You are not slow. You are not falling behind. You are living at your own pace, and that pace is valid. Think about the people you admire, the creators you follow, the entrepreneurs you respect, the mentors you look up to. Most of them didn't make it at 25. Some didn't even start at 30. Some failed repeatedly before they found their path. Some were lost longer than you. And yet, they became unforgettable. Not because they were fast, but because they were consistent. Why do so many people feel this invisible pressure at 25? Because it's the first age where childhood ends, but adulthood still doesn't feel natural. You're old enough to be responsible for everything, but young enough to still be inexperienced. You're in the middle of two worlds, and the bridge feels shaky. You start understanding how real bills are, how real loneliness is, how real disappointment feels, how real uncertainty becomes. People don't talk about this enough, but 25 is the age where you meet yourself for the first time, the unfiltered version. Not the student, not the teenager, not the person shaped by parents or school, but you, pure you. And meeting yourself is not always comfortable. At 25, you start noticing the gap between your dreams and your reality. You start feeling the weight of choices, career choices, relationship choices, financial choices. You start feeling like every decision matters. You start questioning your worth, your direction, your past, and your future. But here's the truth nobody teaches. Life is not decided at 25. Life is discovered through your 20s, 30s, and beyond. Your 20s are not for winning. Your 20s are for learning. Your 20s are for testing, exploring, failing, and trying again. Your 20s are the foundation, not the finish line. Let me introduce a simple but transformative idea. The personal timeline rule. Everyone has a different starting point, a different story, a different background, different struggles, and different strengths. Comparing two timelines that were never the same makes no sense. Your timeline is yours. It is unique. It is unfolding at the pace it's meant to unfold. You're exactly where you need to be. What if the thing you're dreaming of needs more time to prepare you? What if the slow years are not punishment but protection? What if life is delaying certain things because you're meant to receive them when you're stronger, wiser, more ready? The universe is not late. It's intentional. Now imagine you 10 years from now. Imagine your 35-year-old self looking back at your 25-year-old self. Would they say, you were too slow? Or would they say, thank you for not giving up? Thank you for continuing. Thank you for being gentle with yourself when things were uncertain. Your future self will thank you for your resilience, not your speed. Everyone at 25 feels behind, even the people who look ahead, even the people who seem successful, even the people who appear happy. Everyone feels the same fear, the same pressure, the same uncertainty. Some hide it better, but it's still there. You're not alone in this feeling. You're not the only one afraid. You're not the only one comparing. You're not the only one wondering if you're enough. Everyone is figuring things out in real time, just like you. Let's shift into reflection, a conversation with yourself. What is something you've done this year that you haven't celebrated? What is something you survived that no one knows about? What is one thing you learned that changed you? What is one thing you're proud of, even if it looks small? What is one thing you're afraid to admit? These questions matter because they help you see your own worth. Now, let's talk about expectations, society's expectations, family's expectations, your own expectations. Many of us grew up with the belief that life should follow a checklist: graduate, get a job, fall in love, get married, buy a house, have kids. But who created this checklist? And why do we follow it? Life is not a template. You are not a template. You are a person with your own rhythm, your own journey, your own pace. Your worth is not measured by how quickly you achieve things. Your worth is not measured by milestones. Your worth is not measured by speed. Your worth is unconditional. Some of the most beautiful lives were built slowly. Some of the most extraordinary people bloomed late. Some of the strongest souls were once the most uncertain. You do not need to be successful by 25. You do not need to have everything figured out. You do not need to match anyone's timeline. Life is not rushing you. Let's talk about loneliness, the kind that creeps in at 25 when you're surrounded by people but still feel alone. Your friendships change. Your relationships shift. Your priorities evolve. And suddenly, the world feels quieter. But this loneliness is not a punishment, it's a transition. A space where you learn to hear your own thoughts, discover your values, and understand what truly matters. This silence is shaping you. Failure, too. Failure at 25 feels like the world is ending. But failure is simply part of living. It's part of trying. It's part of growing. The people who make it are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who keep going despite it. You will fail. You will learn. You will grow. And that is how you build a life. Identity. This is the age where people ask, who are you? But identity is not something you figure out once. Identity is something you build, piece by piece, moment by moment, choice by choice. Purpose, another pressure point. But purpose is not something you discover suddenly. Purpose is something you create slowly through experience, curiosity, reflection, and courage. Your job at 25 is not to find your final purpose. Your job is to explore. Imagine your future self talking to you now. They wouldn't say, hurry. They'd say, be patient. Keep going. Trust the timing. They'd say, everything you're stressed about will make sense later. They'd say, your pace is perfect for the life you're meant to live. Let's talk about the illusion of falling behind. Behind compared to whom? Behind compared to what? Life is not a race, and you're not a runner competing for a medal. You are a person living a human experience. You are allowed to go slow. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to change your direction. You are allowed to grow at your own pace. Confidence, real confidence, is not loud. It's not flashy. It's not about appearing successful. It is built quietly, through the promises you keep to yourself, through resilience, through choosing growth over fear, through taking responsibility for your life. Fear is not a sign of weakness. Fear is a sign that you're growing. Everything meaningful in life begins with fear. Your 20s are not a test. They are a collection of moments, lessons, stories, and experiences that shape who you become. Think of something you're proud of, something small, something private, something real. You deserve to celebrate that. If you feel behind, remember this: life is not measuring you. You are measuring yourself too harshly. Take a breath. Feel your heart. You're alive. You're growing. You're trying, and that is enough. You are not late. You are becoming. Someday you will look back at age 25 with gratitude, because it was the year you started becoming who you were meant to be. So take things slowly. Move with intention. Trust your timing. Your pace is not a problem. Your pace is your path. And you, my friend, are exactly where you need to be. Thank you so much for listening until the end. It means more than you know. If this episode brought you comfort, clarity, or even just one peaceful moment, then this space has served its purpose. Remember, you are not behind. You are growing at the pace that is right for you. And your story is still unfolding beautifully. If you ever feel lost, pressured, or overwhelmed, you're always welcome to come back here, to this corner of the internet where your feelings are understood, your journey is respected, and your pace is enough. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts or your own experiences. Your voice helps this community grow, and someone out there might need to hear the words you share. Thank you again for spending your time with me today. Until next time, take care of your heart, trust your timing, and be gentle with yourself.